And let me see here. Well, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And actually, Tim, you're still standing.
Yeah.
Why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Tim Carter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tim. You're welcome. Okay, Secretary's report. Nancy Leroy has distributed copies of the minutes from the last meeting, and I'm looking for a motion to accept the minutes.
I motion to accept it.
Okay, and the second from Tim. All those in favor? Aye. I guess the motion carries. Treasurer's report. Barbara. Motion carries. Okay, old business. Well, I see that we have a number of state representatives here right now, and in the category of old business, we are now in 2014, and this is an election year. So I've been asked by Gene Chandler and Lori Sanborn and Chuck Morse and Jeff Bradley to find out who's running and who isn't running. So I see Jane is here, I see Bob Greenmore's here, well, Barbara Luther is here from the county offices. What other state reps do we have here? We have Karen Brickner here, Frank Tilton is here in my seat. Okay, so I
Kicked him out. Kicked you right
I
out.
told him it was okay.
Okay, all right, good.
Want to run for it?
Does she, are you aware that she takes food off of other people's plates? So be careful. Be careful. Okay, so anyway, Jane and Bob and Barbara and Karen and all of those who are not here this evening, I really do need to know what your plans are for the upcoming election in November, because we've got to be able to, if the incumbents are running again, great. If the incumbents are not running again, the sooner that I know that and the sooner that the committee knows that, the better the opportunity for us to reach out and find candidates to run for the various seats. So you can either see me tonight or I'll see you very soon. Okay, a couple of other things that I just wanted to mention. The Grassroots Givers Program, I talked about it last month, and it's a program that's automatically taken out of your checking account or against your credit card for either $10 a month or $20 a month. This is to provide basically operating expenses, to handle operating expenses of the state party. So if you're so inclined to help the state party, then I would encourage you to do this. I've got the forms here that are very easy to fill out, and it's automatic and it works out very well. And you barely feel it because where it's automatic, just make sure you mark your checkbook for $10 a month or $20 a month, and you're all set. The last thing I wanted to remind people of that I haven't done in the past, but I've always had it on the press release that I've sent out, as well as the email that I've sent out, is that really in the interest of trying to help a lot of people who are not as fortunate as we might be, we're looking for people to bring food pantry donations, non-perishable food items. I've got a couple of cans of soup here that I'm going to be donating to that, and I'm hoping that if you haven't brought anything this evening, that next month you'll remember to do that, and I'm going to emphasize that when I announce the meeting next month after I send out a press release, or at the time that I send out a press release. So please do that. We've got tough times right now. The cold weather here has really wreaked havoc on a lot of people, made life very difficult. Those people who are homeless are finding it's very difficult to get a warm place, and certainly, as you've seen in the papers and on the news, a number of people have not survived the absolute horrendous cold that has occurred around the whole country. Okay, moving on to new business, where again it's 2014. That means that we're going to start focusing on our Lincoln Day cruise. So I know some of you enjoy doing this, some of you may not enjoy doing this, but we have a great time generally at the end of May or the very first week of June This year, the cruise is going to be on Friday, May 30th, which is the Friday immediately after Memorial Day. So I'm looking for people to volunteer to work on the cruise committee. See me afterwards, please, and we'll get a list of names and we'll get the committee formed. In the past, it's worked out very well. We've always had a great nucleus of people, but we're also looking for some new faces to be involved in that. Remember that the reason for the Belknap County Lincoln Day Cruise is to support our candidates. So we have the cruise at the end of May, May 30th. The sign-up is going to be in early June. That's with the Secretary of State's office or with your town clerk. If you're running for state representative, and the primary will be in September. I believe it may be September 19th, but I'm not certain about that. Don't hold me to it. But once we've gotten through the primary, then all the funds that we've collected, or the vast majority of the funds that we've collected, will go towards our candidates to pay for their advertising, to pay for their lawn signs, to pay for palm cards, anything of that nature. Right now, as you heard, we've got over $14,000 in the treasury. That's as a result of last year's cruise. This year's cruise looks to be like it should be even more well attended than last year. And with the proceeds of that, I would venture to say that we're probably going to be right up there as far as our funds. And so we'll be able to support our candidates that much more than we did the last time, a year and a half ago. Okay, I want to provide an executive committee update to everyone here. I think you're all aware that not only am I the Belknap County Chairman, I'm also the Area 5 Vice Chair, representing Belknap County, Merrimack County, as well as the Concord City Committee, those three different committees. Jim Merrill was elected at the last meeting in December to be our Finance Chairman. It was a seat that opened up when Kevin Smith had to resign because he became the town manager of Londonderry. So anyway, Jim has some interesting ideas already for what he's going to be doing with fundraising, and our next executive committee meeting is going to be at the end of the month, and that's where we're going to hear a lot about what he has to say and some of the events that are going to be coming up. Also, I wanted to point out that Politics and Eggs, which is held generally at the Institute of Politics at St. Anselm College, this month, on January 21st, is going to be Donald Trump. Okay? And so if anybody is interested in signing up for that, it's something that if you go out, well, I'm not sure if you go to St. Anselm, just plug in Politics and Eggs in your Google, and it'll come back with the organization that runs that event. Should be quite interesting, to say the least. Also, the Republican National Committee is going to be having their winter meeting on January 22nd to the 24th. If anyone here has an inclination to attend that, or if you're going to be in Washington, D.C., if you want to give Juliana Bergeron, or if you even talk to any of Jennifer Horn's staff. Jennifer just came in. Hello, Jennifer. You can sign up for that and attend the sessions. There are a variety of sessions that are open to anyone, open to the public. Also, the First in the Nation primary, I want to just point out that currently the plans call for that to take place in early February, possibly the second week of February of 2015. And there are going to be far fewer debates held during this presidential season that's coming up. That's an agreement that I guess the RNC and the DNC, Republicans and Democrats, have agreed upon, because there were just too many debates out there. And the other thing is that the RNC is going to be taking more of a hold on the debates and try to operate some of them themselves so that they have a little bit more control over the debates. If you recall correctly, there were a couple of, well, there was at least one debate where the moderator got a little bit out of hand. Also, more importantly, the RNC is going to be holding their Northeast Leadership Conference in March. I believe it's March 14th and 15th. And that is, the New Hampshire GOP is going to be the host for that event. I don't have the details on the location yet for that. However, it's also something that would have some sessions that are open to the public as well. And more will come out on that once we've got it all pinned down. Okay, just moving along, I wanted to highlight the fact that today, if you haven't heard the news, snippets of Robert Gates' new book, Duty, the Memoirs of a Secretary at War, came out, and it's created a lot of talk, both amongst the Democrats and amongst the Republicans. Some very revealing things have come out from the book as far as the commitment by our president to the war in Afghanistan. So it's, I think it's going to be a good read, and you may find that if you contact Amazon right away, you might get a copy, but something tells me they're going to get sold out very rapidly. Okay, the New Hampshire veto session was today, as well as Medicaid expansion, and I'm just going to combine that with our legislative and county updates and ask our legislators who are here to talk about what happened today with the veto session as well as the Medicaid expansion. So Jane or Bob, if you'd care to address that. Or Frank, I'm sorry, or Frank. I keep on forgetting Frank. Bob?
The veto session was, let's love the governor, okay? Because, the Democrats control the House, and they love the governor, so they don't want to upset the governor on their veto. So there was a lot of lies and rumors and innuendos about, what the rumor, what they're going to do and what's going on. So they didn't veto anything. They didn't override it. They didn't override anything. Right. You couldn't override anything. Everything went right down party lines. And if you were in the House, this year is kind of an interesting thing. Last year we were all separated, so the Republicans on one side, Democrats on the other. Now we're all mixed around, so there's Democrats and Republicans all mixed around. It's kind of it's a telling thing when most of the people that sit around you have to ask the people next to them, how do I vote on this? This is a democratic procedure. They tell them people, look, you got to vote this way. That's how you vote. It's not like the Republicans who have a mind and can think and will vote their conscience and vote what the party. They don't vote the party line. Today, the party line was really atoned to for two things: sustaining the governor's vetoes and for pushing through the Medicaid expansion and this health insurance expansion. It's an absolute travesty when you have good people standing up there telling them exactly what's going to happen if they do this, and they do it anyway, and they're voting against all of us, all of the people within the state. The Democrats are totally out of control. That's what I saw today.
It was very interesting today. They kept saying the same talking points.
Yeah, same talking
The
points.
same talking points, the Democratic side, how we're losing $500,000 a day. How many times did we hear that today? Every day that we don't have Medicaid expansion, we're losing $500,000 a day. And do you know, when you'd look around the body, you would actually see people shaking their heads agreeing with this.
I got in a fight with one doctor today that sits 2 feet
Oh.
on this, and he goes, we gotta vote for this. I said, what are you, nuts? Come on. It's our money that and they say, well, it's free money. I mean, it's coming from the federal government. Who the hell pays for this? We do. It's not free money.
They say
It's
it.
not. I mean, it's our tax dollars that are being confiscated by the Democrats to pay for an expansion. And who are they expanding it to? People who are not elderly, not poor and infirm, not the poor and elderly. It's anybody that's under 25 that needs a Medicaid stamp on their ABT card or EBT card. So we're looking at these people who have no control and no sense of what it is to make a living and earn a living, and they're giving it away. They're taking your dollars. This is a pure Democratic, stick it to us because we had it for the 2 years ago, and now they're gonna turn around and do everything we have.
And don't forget that free money
Yeah, I
is
know.
only a promise.
Right.
Yes.
And you know about the federal promises,
That's
don't
right.
you?
That's right.
So what happened? Go there.
Oh, they
Nancy,
passed
you had your hand
You don't understand, we're losing it.
I just gotta go to the seminar.
You won't appear on,
Meeting.
you won't appear on,
This is not a, Jane, I correct you, this is not a public meeting.
So when it's in the newspaper and it goes out to the public, it's not a public meeting?
It's not a 91A public.
Okay, not a 91A, but I mean, there should be no problem
Okay, well,
with videoing it.
and as one of my responsibilities, if somebody voices a concern about this, then I have to follow up on that. That's part of it.
So it can't be that we just won't have her on the tape?
No, that's not the way that it works. And I would appreciate it if you would put that down.
Well, I don't understand. This is not a democratic way to run a meeting, and this is not the way we should be doing things, Mr. Glassman. This is an open meeting. We're not here to try to make anyone uncomfortable, but we want to have this stuff for people that could not make the meeting. That is only fair. I do not understand why you continue to shut down what is open for everybody to see.
Continue to shut down?
You are shutting down this right.
This is the first time that this has
No,
ever
Mr.
been raised.
Glassman, it's not. I'm sorry. It's not.
you've asked me before to do this. Now,
You
I'm-
have ripped up
okay.
questions that were at open meetings for candidates not to ask, not to be
Okay,
asked.
I'd like to put this to the committee. I'd like to know if anyone else has any objections to this being videoed.
Have a question, raise their hand.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, what's the purpose of, what are you gonna do with the video, and how's it gonna be controlled? That's what I wanna know, how much of this, how much is gonna be edited, how much is gonna be controlled, where's it gonna be published at? Who's gonna control the output of this?
I will control the output of this. I will do the same thing that I've been doing for years, which is posting it on GraniteRock.com. The biggest reason why I'm here is for the 3 executive counselors who are running. They are holding a lot of small meetings. Most of them are during the day when working people can't get there. So if you want to constrain other Republicans or Republican-leaning folks from listening to these candidates, by all means, say something. And
Skip, excuse me, then I'd like you to shut off the camera, and when the 2 candidates speak, as long as it's okay with them, you can go ahead and video that.
Can I ask what the objections to it? What is the concern?
We've got somebody here who has said that they do not want to be videoed. My understanding is that there are wiretap laws that cover the
That's
concept
if
of
somebody is doing
video.
it surreptitiously and without another person's knowledge. This is kind of hard to hide.
Frank?
This is a closed meeting for Republicans. You can call it similar to caucus. We discuss things that we may or may not want to share with the outside, and we don't know necessarily. When I was chairman, I always made sure every candidate, every speaker knew when we were taping. I generally would say fine. And Skip, yes, we allowed taping quite often. I did ask one of the people that came with a camera to leave, who was obviously there for the Democratic committee. So we have the right to control within it. It is a closed meeting. Republicans or people leaning Republican. We're not going to open it to.
Didn't know I was a Democrat.
Yeah, no, not saying you are. No, you're sitting there. I don't object to that a bit. And if some people that are here don't want to be taped, they should be allowed not to be taped. So the objection was raised, and I certainly support that person. But I think Alan's got a great compromise. Turn it on when the candidates get up. Let the candidates and
So,
you know, our main speaker. Ask the main speaker if she wants to have a private talk with Republicans. Close the camera. If she wants to do it, make sure her speech. You know, look at what Democrats have done at a Democrat meeting. We had Philpott, you know, labeled us all as bad people. You know, we continue to use that against him. You know, and, you know, he was just talking to Democrats. He didn't realize it was going to show up in the paper.
Well, you know, in this age, anything anybody says is going to be reported one way or the other.
That may be, but nevertheless, it's the prerogative of the chairman who's running the meeting right now to make sure people who are here, they're uncomfortable, then do what you can to relieve that.
Croc TV.